And here we go. Welcome, everybody, to another Live Out Loud podcast. I'm Scott,
I'm Gary.
and Gary's a little under the weather today, but he's going to hang in there for us. I'm sorry you're not feeling well, buddy, but having a little technical difficulty there. You froze up for a second. We'll see if we can get Gary back. But I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight right here on Live Out Loud. Finally get you both. Karen's joining us from Crazy About Costumes. She finally gets to see us.
Hello, Karen.
She has been so busy. And Lynn is with us. Lynn Serrano. How you doing, Lynn? And today we are talking about, what are we talking about, Gary?
Pet peeves.
Pet peeves. Pet peeves. Things that peeve us. And Diane's with us. And that's your friend, right? Diane Semper Literic.
Yes.
And Kayla Moore is with us. And let's see. So happy to have caught you guys. It kind of says cough you guys. So happy to cough you guys. Don't make fun of Gary because he's sick. Don't say cough you guys. All right. So we're going to be talking about pet peeves. Here's what I want you guys to do, you out there who are listening. Join us with your pet peeves. Tell us the things that really, really just annoy you. And we will do the same, and we'll have some fun with it. And it's kind of a good way to kind of like therapeutically get things off your chest without getting arrested for beating the hell out of somebody. Let's see. Karen says, sorry, you're not feeling well. And then our other Karen is with us. She goes, hi, guys. Love the peeves. And and Kay says she's joking. She meant caught you guys. All right. Everybody's there. All right. So, Gary, shall I hit you with a pet peeve?
Okay.
Move a little closer to your mic if you could, because you're a little bit.
I don't know where my mic is here. Because the thing didn't work.
I don't know where. Actually, it's
where mic is now.
No, that's better. That's better. Okay. People who apologize. This is one of my pet peeves. Great pet peeve. People who apologize but don't really apologize. People who say stuff like, I'm sorry you got upset. That's not an apology.
That's not an apology.
I'm sorry that your car got in the way. That's not an apology. There's a lot of.
I upset you, but.
Yeah, whenever there's a but on there, I'm sorry I upset you, but if you didn't do this, it wouldn't have happened. Okay. Mama's with us. She says, good to see you guys. Sorry you're sick, Gary. Everybody's just feeling sorry for you, Gary. That's not fair.
Don't feel sorry for me. I am
resilient.
It's just been, we were talking about pet peeves, right?
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, life can sometimes be a pet peeve, and it just seems that sometimes when you can't grasp it and you can't direct it the way that you always wanted to direct it, that's a peeve. That always seems to be a constant peeve for me. I might be out of it today, but I got it. I guess I'll share it with all you people because you're friends of mine, and who do you talk to other than friends? But I don't know. My biggest pet peeve is that I can't really seem to grasp a direction or a way to go or the right road to choose. And whenever I go down that right road, there's always an exit that I take every once in a while. Or I have these wonderful people telling me that I do these wonderful things, and I don't know, maybe it's just a down on myself thing, but
Yeah.
my biggest pet peeve is me. Just to be totally honest, I just can't seem to put the pieces all in the right way. You know what I'm saying?
I think I got you.
Looking at you, I should be looking up here to look at you, Scott, but on the
It's
computer.
okay. No, I mean it doesn't matter. I mean it's fine. I know what you're saying. I mean I kind of get what you're saying, and of course you know what you're going through and what's going on with you is your personal deal, and everybody has their own personal deal. I never take that away from anybody and say I know exactly what you're talking about, but I do understand feeling that that sometimes you're spinning your wheels, or that when everything seems to be put together just like it's going to all come together, either something happens or even worse, I do something stupid and ruin it somehow, or make a mistake, or something happens, something comes along and kind of takes it away. And then we kind of like it's like starting all over again, like square one. But um I think I've done that enough with my addiction and stuff like that, where it's like, dude, you got everything you could ever want. How did that get all messed up? Or how did I not use that and do those things? It all had a purpose, and it brought me to where I am. And the truth is that kind of rebuilding myself on a constant basis is kind of my adventure, to reinvent myself and to find new ways to be happy is kind of the adventure. I mean, certainly, I mean, everybody knows it's public about, what Teresa and I went through and things like that. And that didn't feel good. And Karen and I know, and you know as well, the struggles we've had with the business. And every time we think we got strong footing, things don't quite work out. But we keep plugging away because I know sooner or later we're going to find the answer. And it's all I can say to anybody is, keep plugging away and the answer will be there. You
Yeah,
know, if the heart is in the right place, if the heart is in the right place, the answer
yeah,
will be there. You know, I certainly, would like to have things better in certain areas of my life, but they're not gonna be until they're ready to be. I don't know. I wish there was a good answer. I wish there was a good answer. I wish you weren't feeling, you're feeling physically ill as well as feeling just kind of down. So that's kind of like a double whammy for you tonight.
yeah.
And I think you
Oh,
need ice cream.
so welcome to the show.
I think you need ice cream. What is your go-to when you feel sad? What do you eat something when you feel bad?
Um, something I don't know. I don't know what my go-to is. I
You don't
should
have a go-to?
have a go-to. I guess music, or I guess I don't know. I think because I have
Mine, my,
because
mine
I
is pizza. That's why I'm 40 pounds over fucking weight now.
is Barbie girl.
Oh, that's a secret. We don't tell people about my Barbie girl thing.
No, they know already. They know.
Come on, Barbie. Let's go party. See, you're even smiling at that.
Yeah,
Maybe you need to listen to some Aqua.
it may be
Better yet, that should be the next song you perform at your gigs.
Barbie girl.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Hey, listen, we got a lot of folks chiming in. And Gary, thank you for just being honest about how you're feeling. I think if more people do that once in a while, does it feel better just to say some of those things out loud?
Yeah, well, it feels better, but it's also very restricting on what I want to say, and
Well, yeah, I mean, because some of this stuff has to be a personal conversation, obviously.
yeah,
Uh,
it's just like, hi, David. Look at it, the picture of David. That's David.
yeah, I
That's
know.
that's my
David saying
that's my
hi.
that's my
There's
go-to place right
there,
there.
there's
That's
another David there, David Barnes saying
David
hi.
Barnes, an old friend of mine.
Uh, let's see.
Lynn, there's
Lynn, sorry I'm late. Lots of pet peeves. Lynn, go ahead and start sharing them. We will get back into our pet peeves now.
yeah,
Karen says she loves you, Gary.
I love her too.
And Lynn's sending you hugs. And David said, I get it. We'll talk. So
Talk.
see, look at this. I guess we're blessed, Gary. I mean, you and I both, that there's so many people in our lives that if one of us ever said, I'm feeling off, We got a dozen people ready to talk to us or take us under their or take us out to dinner. That's
Right.
a good
We would.
that's a good idea. Gary's not feeling well, but to help him feel better, if anybody wants to take me out to dinner, we could do that for Gary.
Yeah.
I'll eat steak for you.
Make me feel better. Take Scott out.
Yes, I'll eat steak for Gary, and he will feel better because he can't eat steak himself because his stomach hurts. I'm just trying to help.
There you are.
Tommy and Natalie say hello. All right, excellent. All right, pet peeves. So the first one was saying sorry, but not really meaning you're sorry. That is a pet peeve. Cashiers. Here's another one. I love saying hello to cashiers and being nice to people when I'm standing in line. But when they get so chatty that they are no longer ringing up your stuff, that's a pet peeve of mine.
Or the person in front of you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I'm involved in the conversation, that annoys me. But if it's not even my conversation I'm waiting on, and the cashier, I'm like, you can move your hands across the scanner and still talk. You don't have to stop all motion. But some of these cashiers, they'll stop all motion to chit chat. No, keep going.
They can't multitask.
Exactly. And I'm always going to say, be nice to your cashier, be nice to your waiter or waitress. But, the cashier, when they stop ringing up your stuff, that is like, that is equal to like if the waiter decides to just put his pad down and sit at the table and have and chat. No, you chat while you're doing your job.
Right.
You got to be able to do that. All right, people who refer to themselves in the third person. Those I can't stand that.
Oh, as if Gary does appreciate all the things that everybody is saying. Gary does feel that it's nice to be joined by all these people.
Yeah. Hey, Scott, Scott doesn't like that kind of stuff. Scott's feeling good. Scott's, it's just when people use in the third person, I mean, they usually do it when they have the dumbest nicknames too. There's this guy on the freaking Big Brother, and he talks about himself in the third person. His nickname is Pooch. This grown man.
Right. And Pooch like that. Pooch.
What? Pooch.
You say like Pooch don't like that, or
yeah, Pooch. No, Pooch is smarter than that. Huh? Well, no, he's not, because he allowed people to nickname him Pooch. So you're obviously not that smart to begin with. There's another guy on there calls himself Meow Meow, and he's from New York. Meow Meow.
Meow Meow.
Yeah, like a cat. Meow Meow. He's from New York. Gary, you know those people in New York come up with those weird names. Yeah. Meow Meow plays with Ray Ray down the block. Those kind of things, right? But they always like the third person, especially if they got a bad nickname. All right, let's see. I hate when, this is Lynn Levy saying, I hate when someone won't let you in front of them and you only have one item.
That is brilliant. There's always that. I do. Even if I have 8 or 10 items, I will still let somebody with one item ahead of me.
Okay, but what's the cutoff on that? Once I put all myself on the conveyor belt, I'm not responsible to do that anymore. But if I'm just starting to load the conveyor belt, I should let somebody through, right?
I say if you're
what is the rule?
If they started checking you out,
started
bringing you up, then it's too late. But until they put that first item across, that's it.
That's right.
First item across, you say, wait a minute. They have one item, just put that one across. Lynn, absolutely.
She's saying that Seinfeld did a great episode about that. I think she's talking about the nickname stuff. About the calling himself in the third person. I remember that episode.
Yeah.
Bob Dole was famous for that. I guess Bob Dole used to call himself Bob Dole. Yeah, the third person. Yeah, and then Natalie says, then it's too late, but until they do the oops, sorry, I didn't notice you had one item. At that point, don't even talk to them because you've already angered them.
They're full of crap.
Yeah. Then he would say, well, oh, I'm sorry if I saw you there. So basically what you're saying is not only am I unkind, but you're invisible to me. So take that. Take that. Um, let me see. You'd let me in front of you with a full cart, Gary.
I would. I
You
absolutely would.
you probably would. You would piss off everybody else in the line, though.
Well, I mean, if I didn't know Lynn, I don't know if I would, but it being Lynn, I would absolutely. Even if I had one item, Lynn, even if I had one item, Ira's watching. Hi, Ira.
Hey, Ira, how are you? All right. Let's see. Here's some. Do you have any pet peeves you want to share yet, Gary?
Um,
Or you just
my pet peeve is that oh that nobody's asked how Chuck is, how my buddy is. The guy that went to the
oh,
he's doing great. He's getting out today, and he is um, doing great.
your buddy who called you needed some help with certain issues.
He
You were
is,
able you were able to get him professional help,
and
and
he left treatment, went straight to a meeting.
that is so awesome. You got to stay in touch with him, obviously.
Hey,
That's good to know. Those things you're afraid to ask sometimes because you and I know the other side of that. That a lot of times there's a tragic story involved, and we didn't, But I'm so glad, and that is so wonderful. Lynn says, "I want to go to Publix with you, where shopping is a pleasure." No,
then it would be a pleasure.
it is not a pleasure shopping at Publix.
If you came along, Lynn, it would be a pleasure. Shopping would be a pleasure because you would let me in with one item.
Mom says she was going to ask you about that, but she was going to wait. But she said she's glad he's okay. Very good. And happy your friend is okay and doing well. Good.
And I was able to get him in by knowing how to do an intervention.
That's right. That's right. And that was learned right there at our own addiction training center. And if you'd like more information about that, and you know what, coming up towards the end of the show, we're going to give you a few minutes and we're going to talk about that. But right now, I'd like to, while we got everybody's attention, we want to keep going with some pet peeves. This one I hate. People who clap at the end of movies in a theater. Or even worse, people who clap when an airplane lands. I mean, it's either going to land or you're going to die. I mean, I just don't see the reason for clapping. I mean, do you clap when your Uber driver arrives at your destination?
Yeah.
Do you clap for yourself when you drive all the way to the Publix for some fun shopping? Do you clap? Do you clap when the person's ringing up your groceries? No.
No, the only time I clap is when somebody lets me in and I have one item.
Well, then you clap. Yes, of course. Or the one-handed clap, which is called a slap. We could do those too. Anyway, but clapping when at the end of a movie, especially, it's like, come on, who are you clapping for? I've never clapped at the end of a movie. Anyway, I don't think I've ever seen the end of a movie. I fall asleep all the time.
They don't make it easy for you now with those reclining chairs.
I know they got reclining chairs, and I think they have massage chairs, but it turns out it was just the guy behind me with leg cramps. He kept moving around. All right. Let me see. Of course, clap is never funny. Yeah, getting the clap is not funny. That's true. That's true. All right. How about this one? Somebody, how about this one? Whenever you're wearing a pair of socks, that's when you find the ice cube that fell on the floor in the kitchen. You always find that wet spot on the floor in the kitchen when you're wearing your socks. You ever notice that?
Or that grape.
Or the grape. Oh, yeah. Squish.
The grape that rolled away.
Squish. Yeah. Yeah. I hate that. You look around, you drop an ice cube, you never find it. Then, a little while later, you're walking through in your socks and there you go. Wet feet. And then you end up with badness.
Oh, Lance. Lance is a very tall man, and he doesn't like when people ask him how the weather is up there.
Oh. Is it because you don't like the question or because you don't want to report it?
No, or maybe the weather isn't bad.
How tall is Lance?
Lance is over 6. That's him right there. 6'75".
Holy shit. I wouldn't ask him anything. All I know is I would begin every sentence and end every sentence with "sir"
Yeah.
when somebody's that big.
Lance, you are 75, right? That is you as number 75, right?
Yeah,
75.
number 75 looks like he just ate number 68. Um, look at how big he is.
Rip him a new head. Oh no, he's blocking for him. That's what he's.
Yeah, yeah. That's the guy I want in front of me. Right there, that picture of Lance in the bottom. That's the guy you want in front of you when you're playing football. Nobody's ever going to get through that wall. That's a good thing. Okay, you know what else is a pet peeve of mine? Why do they put stickers on fruit? Why do they need stickers on fruit?
That's horrible.
I mean, come on, we've all done it. You bite into that apple, and then you realize you left the sticker on there.
That is horrible. The stickers on the fruit I don't get, but what does that to show that they washed it?
Well, now you got to wash it again because there's glue on it.
Did you ever read the sticker?
It's got a barcode and a number or something on there. I think that's all it is, unless it's a warning. Don't eat this.
I don't think it's a barcode.
It's some sort of number. It's usually a number so that they can punch it in, because the people ringing you up are so busy talking that they didn't learn that when you have an apple, you type in apple.
And back to the other pet peeve.
What's that? Oh, yeah. It's all connected. It's all connected. Pay attention to. No, I just don't like it because sometimes it comes right off, and then other times, and then you know what ends up happening is you peel it off, you put it on a counter for a second, and then it disappears. But later on, when you're making your steak, all of a sudden you flip it over. There's that goddamn sticker. I got a banana sticker on my steak. It's not good. It's not. I don't like it. I don't like it. You know what else I don't like? Candy wrappers. I don't like whenever I go. Do you ever go to the movies? They should never sell cellophane wrapper candy in movies, because you always end up with the guy behind you who takes 15 minutes to figure out how to open up his zag nut, and it's like it's all crumpling, and you hear it, and it's like amplified 10,000 times in your head, that crumpling sound. They should not sell that.
Right.
They should not sell it. Hey, Michelle's with us. She's saying hi, guys. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for joining us. We're doing pet peeves. Anybody got any pet peeves? Throw them out to us. Yeah, but the candy wrappers I really can't stand. There should be a rule about silent food. What would be a good food for a theater? Bananas. Bananas are silent.
Yeah, but you find those stickers everywhere.
That's true. That's true. Okay, Scott Jonas has something for us. People who don't understand directions, even when you take time to explain more than 5 times, it shows they are not interested in listening to what you are saying. Yeah, people who don't understand. People don't know how to take directions anymore because their phones do it all. They don't think anymore. If we used to have to memorize phone numbers. We used to have to memorize roads and exits and where to go. Now I go to the same place every week. I go to the same place in Boynton Beach. I can't tell you the name of the road it's on because I just allow Siri to tell me where it is. So I don't know. That's a pet peeve of mine too. People don't know how to get directions anymore.
Well, it's a whole new world from when we were a kid.
It really is. Lynn says Hershey Kisses are soft and quiet. That's true. That would be a good
Kisses. That's right. They are.
Yeah, it's a good food.
People who don't use blinkers.
Yep.
That's right.
That's annoying, especially if you're about to turn out and somebody's going to turn so that you can go ahead and move, but they don't put their blinker on, so you don't know what they're doing. You got to wait until they either turn or they get past you before you can move. So use your blinkers. And I live in a neighborhood, and for some reason, people think once you're in a neighborhood, the rules of the road don't apply anymore. Stop signs are complete suggestions.
When you're in your neighborhood?
Yeah. But whenever people enter into a neighborhood, I'm sure it's the same in your neighborhood. Your neighborhood is quite large. And there are stop signs and different things, but I'm sure people just kind of like decide whether they're going to stop or not. They don't use blinkers, I'm sure.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. David says being cut off, of course. Yeah, of course, being cut off. That's a pet peeve. That's a pet peeve.
I had an incident where I had to get into a lane. I was a little bit lost, and I had to get into a lane to make a right-hand turn. And I sped up, and I passed the guy, and I went to the right lane before the right lane came up. And then the guy pulled up next to me on my left, and he looked out the window, and he goes like this. What's the matter with you? Like that. So I looked at him. I got this from a comedian one time. I looked at him and I said, haven't you ever made a mistake? And when I said that, he completely shut down. He was
That was
quiet.
brilliant.
He said, sorry, talk, go ahead. You know,
Wow.
I just looked at him and I said, haven't you ever made a mistake before?
You're like the old man whisperer. Haven't you ever made a mistake? Oh,
It worked out.
okay. Oh, here's a good one. People who block a whole grocery aisle with their cart. Speaking of grocery shopping.
While they're reading.
Oh, those people, yeah, they're like trying to figure out, what kind of barbecue sauce or salad dressing they want. And they don't put the cart on the side where they are. They put the cart on one side, then they stand on the other side of the cart and they block the whole thing. And I think they should put horns on carts. I think they should have those. And not like the little cute, like me. I'm talking about like the ayuga, the big horns, big foghorns, something that scared the shit out of somebody. One of those party horn things. Anyway, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Screaming child at a restaurant after 10 minutes.
Screaming after 10 minutes, after 3 minutes, after 4 minutes, the parent needs to take the child outside and walk him around because the child's obviously not happy. So take the child outside and spin him around and do funny things to make the child happy again. Because after 10 minutes, it's ridiculous.
Just because you have adopted the secret superpower that parents have to ignore the sound of your own child doesn't mean the rest of the world has that ability. As a matter of fact, we don't, because the sound of your child crying is amplified in our heads and you can ignore it completely. We haven't had time.
You're trained.
We haven't had time to like dull that noise.
You're trained to hear that sound and not let it bother you as much. But it should bother you always because you are a parent. And anytime your kid is crying, there is a reason.
Yes.
There is always a reason for sadness.
There is always a reason for sadness. There really is. But deal with it. Don't make it worse. God, don't make it worse. Okay. All right. How about people who use the term literally and they think they're using, they say literal, I could literally die. I like when they say that stuff because then I'm like, okay, yeah, show me. No, literally, you're killing me. Literally, you're killing me. What, really? Okay, die. Yeah,
I don't think that I could be killing you literally. Yeah.
Yes.
Literally is an odd statement to make.
It really is, and they always do it when they exaggerate something. So you're basically just taking away the real meaning of the word literally. When you say literally, it means for real. This is what I'm talking about. So if you say literally there were 2 million people there when you're talking about like 50, that's not only a Trumpism, but that's literally, you're wrong. It's a wrong thing. Let's see. For English, press 1. Oh yeah. Errol Carver's joining us.
God.
There's a pet peeve when you get on anything and it's like the first thing I tell you for English, press 1.
Any customer service phone line is a pet peeve.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what they say. As soon as that phone answers, I know I'm in for 15 minutes of phone recordings, and that is a pet peeve.
Yeah. I mean, whatever happened to somebody just getting on the phone and talking to you?
Look at that. David said that literally bothers me also.
Yeah. Literally, I'm done with it. Literally, I mean it. Literally, I'm over it. Literally, I could light myself on fire right now. I'm telling you, that's how upset I am. All right, I'm not going to do that because I'm in my studio. I don't want to mess up my studio. Gas station etiquette. Gas station etiquette. Gary, what do you do when you pull up to the pump? Which pump do you pull up to?
When I pull up to a gas station,
You pull up to the gas station, always two pumps in every line. Which one do you pull up to?
the farthest one, so that a car
Exactly.
behind me. Yeah,
So
right.
somebody can get behind you. But some reason, some morons never learn that lesson.
They pull up to the first pump.
Not only that, these are the same freaking morons. They pull up to the first pump, so you can't get to the second pump. And these are the same ones who pump their gas, then decide to go in and do some, weekend grocery shopping in the little convenience store there at the gas station. And they disappear. They're gone for a while because apparently they decided to stop and eat one of those death dog hot dogs that they have in there and sit on their ass. I have no idea what goes on, but people can be leaving their car there for 20 minutes. So now you got two pumps taken up by some moron who needs to get in there and get a bag of Cheetos and a Diet Coke. All right. They should pull away from the gas pump. If you're going to go in the store, see, I won't do that. I will pull away from the gas pump and I'll park in front of the store and then park where you're supposed to park. It's rudeness. Then they forget which side their gas tank's on. I love that too. Did you ever see somebody like you've had the same car for 7 years. You don't know which side your gas tank's on.
So you got to put, yeah, right.
Do you know there's a little arrow inside your car that'll tell you?
Right next to your gas gauge.
Yes.
Yeah.
People don't know that. People actually don't know that. That little arrow right next to that gas pump on your gas gauge, there's a little gas pump and it's got a little arrow. It'll point to the left or to the right. That's the side that your gas tank is on. The good old days when I had it behind the license plate in the back of the car, didn't matter which side you pulled up to.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Yep.
You had to pull the license plate down?
Yep.
It was like some secret compartment.
Corvettes used to have them underneath their insignia.
Oh, let's see.
You know?
What's it? Corvettes had them where? Behind the gas?
Under the insignia on the back, there was a Corvette thing. And you took it off like a gas cap. It was right in the middle of the back area.
So what happens when your Prius runs out of electricity?
I don't have it runs on gas. My Prius runs on electricity when it's not really moving that much. The electricity kicks off at about 20 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour. When it's sitting and idling, it's electricity. So
okay.
it only uses gas when you're. It's both electricity. So my Prius never runs out of electricity. I don't know what happens when a Tesla runs out of electricity, or I don't know what happens when a Neo or one of those other electrical cars runs out. But I do know that.
Yeah. My car runs on electricity too when it's not moving or on, or if I'm not in it, which requires zero electricity. Anyway, a guy cut me off today at the gas station with a huge truck filling up. Took over 10 minutes. It pissed him off. So he says it passed him off, but I'm pretty sure it pissed him off.
He got pissed off because you.
No.
Were in front
He
of
got
him.
mad because a huge truck went in front of him with one of those gas tanks that it takes an hour to fill. The kind of ones where they kind of put the thing in there and then they get back in the truck and take a nap while it's pumping.
Right, endless. Right.
Well,
And
Dave,
he cut him off to get in there first.
what's that?
He cut him.
Yeah, he cut him off first. He cut him off, and then he took forever to get through there. So,
Passed me off.
David, if it's any consolation, he spent a shit ton of money. If it's for every minute he stood there, he was burning a lot more money than you. 65 gallons, Dave said. All right.
Oh, look at that. A pet peeve is people who don't tip the band. Or
Yes.
tip the waiters. Yeah.
People who don't tip the band or poorly tip waiters.
This is the way those people tip the band.
Hey. Yeah.
They walk out and they're looking at him to not tip the band. They do this.
So when you're done playing for the night and you go to Publix to pick up dinner and you say, I got a pocket full of these, I got a pocket full of thumbs up and smiles. What can I get for that?
That'll be $65.
Oh yeah. Listen, you guys got to tip the bands when you're going out there. They put everything out there for you. They're doing all that stuff for you. They're having a lot of fun. Especially when you see these little these like when you have the three-man pieces and the two guys doing things. Usually they're playing for a lot less, and really your tips are very important to them. So please just be aware of that. Um I always try to tip when I see people and stuff like that. And certainly your waiters and waitresses, they count on those tips for their money. It's not, they don't, Gary, do you even know what they make an hour now for a waiter or a waitress?
Minimum wage.
I think it's even less than because they keep their tips. So I think they don't have
Oh,
to
that's
go
right.
minimum wage.
Might be less than that.
It might be like five something an hour and then they get their tips. If anybody knows what a waiter and waitress makes now, let us know. It's really kind of pathetic.
But if you are a waiter or a waitress, you really should be a good waiter and a waitress.
You don't need to tip the hat. You don't need to tip the hat. Oh, okay. Anyway,
You should be a good waitress or waiter. I mean, they got 18%. They always tell you what to tip on checks now: 18%, 20%, and 22%. Right?
yeah.
If you're not a good waiter, I'll tip you 15.
Well, I've actually not tipped, but I will tell the waiter, and if it's really egregious, which for me not to tip means they did something really wrong, I would tell the manager on my way out too. Not saying, oh, fire this guy, but just saying, I want to let you know, this is why. I don't want to walk out and think that them thinking I'm a debit. There's a reason why I didn't tip you, but that's a rare occasion. Usually I will tip, and Gary, you're right. If they did okay, then they get 10 to 15%. If they did really good, they get 20%. I've gone all the way up to 25% if they do a great job.
Yeah.
So certainly. My friend Debbie's with us. Hi, Scott and Gary. Debbie, thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Debbie, we're talking about pet peeves. If you've got a pet peeve you want to share with us, get it off your chest because we got a few more minutes of talking about this before we jump into some curiosities. Okay, Earl's got another. Earl's just full of pet peeves. Earl is obviously a very happy man. Charities who tell you how much you must give. For only $19 a month.
I don't mind that because I know what I'm going to get. What I do mind is that if I do give to a charity, don't give my name to all these other charities, and don't keep trying to pull more.
Yeah, they sell your list. They sell the list they get.
Yeah.
And that they make money off of that.
And then after that, they say, well, now that you've helped this one child who is from Korea and who has never eaten, maybe you can help this other person who has, and for only a certain amount more a month. It's like, all right, I'm doing what you wanted me to do in the first place. Don't keep pulling at me.
I agree with you, but I was drawn into that, Gary. I was drawn in because I heard that a kid could be educated, inoculated, fed, and clothed, and sent to school, like college, for 25 cents a day. And that to me sounded wonderful. And, other than the cost of sending my kids over there, it's been a pretty good deal for me so far. Is that wrong?
All right,
is that wrong?
That worked out well for me. I got that one.
Oh, Scott says, people who cough or sneeze next to you, but don't cover up. Okay. Yeah. I think I think we've all learned to put your face in your elbow, but
or
then when you get, what?
I wanted to go back to what we were just talking about before we went on to that. How about when you go to Publix or any store and before you cash out, they ask you if you would like to donate to a charity.
Okay, we're back on the charities. Yeah, I know. They do that.
If I see it there, I'll donate. If you ask me, I won't.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. It's almost like I've already bought my food. I've come here and I've used your services. Why are you trying to get more out of me?
Right? No, it's just putting me on the spot. It's like saying, Would you like to be a good human being, or would you like to be a piece of shit? So no, 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 no. Of course, I could you know, overthink it, what they're saying. But if I see a charitable box or something like that, I'll take my change and I'll put it in there.
Do you remember UNICEF? The old days they used to send kids out for UNICEF boxes on Halloween. Was that when they go out with the UNICEF boxes on Halloween? So they'd be trick or treating and then asking for your money too. Gary froze up for a
Trick or,
moment. I'm sure. There you are. What was that?
trick or treat for UNICEF.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore. I haven't seen that in a long time. In a long time. I mean, it's got to violate some child labor laws. You know, hey, I got an army of 10-year-olds to go out and beg for money. I mean, come on, it's got to be wrong somehow.
Say no
It's
to a
got to
kid,
be wrong.
and those pennies add up. How do you say no to a kid?
They do add up. Okay, Debbie's throwing one in here. When people act as though they are somehow better than others. Ugh, so annoying. I agree. All those people are beneath me. I'm telling you right now. I am so much better than all those people who think they're better than me. They're beneath me. And no, I'm kidding. Most people who have to prove that they're better than other people do it because they don't feel good about themselves and they're insecure. People who are secure with who they are never have to tell you how good they are. They never have to do it.
Yep.
Okay. Yes, Halloween is when they did the UNICEF. Lynn, I don't like it when they say it's only X amount. The boutique I went to said that the t-shirt is only $82.
That's true.
Excuse me, Lynn, where are you shopping that a t-shirt is 82 freaking dollars?
Yep. That's a good point. It's only, how do they know what I can afford?
I know.
It's only 1995, and we'll send you two more.
$82. $82, 3/4 of my electric bill I'm going to spend on a t-shirt.
Instead of telling me that you're going to charge me 1995 and then send me two more, just charge me $9.95 and send me the one that I want.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't send me two more. I don't want two more.
I also hate one of my pet peeves going to the store and they got the buy one get one freeze. I'm fine with buy one get one, but then they start complicating it. Buy two get one, buy two get two, buy three get two. I mean, you're in there doing higher math, and I'm like, no, no, just show me where the free ones are, and I'll leave the other ones behind. Let's see, Debbie. Thanks for talking to my guest before the show. Oh, Debbie, you are more than welcome. It was absolutely my pleasure. Debbie had a great guest on the other day. His name was Dre, I believe it was. Great guy, wonderful guy. And I had a chance to talk to him before he did the show. So, Debbie, it was my pleasure. Always. Let's see. It's less than $100. $99.99. Yes, I know. We're not fooled by that anymore, people. $99.99. I don't even like that 99 cents anymore because who wants a penny back? Do you even take the penny when you have change?
That goes to tax.
What does?
Whatever is left over from less than $100, it's always got to be $100, $160 or $106. $100 is $99.99 is the price. There's got to be tax added to it.
Yes.
So it's not under 100. Their part is under 100.
That's true. We're not stupid.
When you call, you get the service charge. You're calling a number and they say, well, there's a $10 service charge for us placing the order for you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Isn't that your job?
That sucks. That's concert ticket sales. There are so many things that have a price for doing something that is nothing.
Absolutely. I just hate how about extended warranties? How much do you love those? Yeah. I just bought a radio on sale for $19 and you want me to spend $7 on an extended warranty. Are you kidding me? Anyway. So So these are pet peeves. These are things that bother us. And the best way to deal with pet peeves is to talk about them. And that's what we're doing here today.
Right, and pretty much that's why I talked about what I had to talk about at the beginning of this show, because I don't know, maybe someday I'll figure it out, man.
And Gary, I can only say this, that I think everybody at some point has those moments in their lives when they kind of look around and say, "What the fuck? I'm not sure I'm on the right program here, or what's going on. Did I miss my bus because this isn't where I wanted to be?" There's all sorts of moments like that in different lives, and totally get it, totally get it. But it's good that people can talk about it.
Is
I think you're setting a great example by being able to sit there and say, "I'm off. Something's not right."
is there something physical? Is there some chemical reaction? Am I? Why do I just end up destroying a lot of wonderful things? Or why do I take one certain road when I know I shouldn't be taking that certain road? It's it. I look at my life and I get very disappointed a lot.
The funny thing is,
Not to hand out a pity stick to everybody,
no,
play the
no.
pity game, or oh my goodness, I feel so sorry for myself. Talking about, so I just came back from therapy. Before this show, I was in therapy.
Well, I think that's a good thing, and I think people need to do that. The funny thing is when we put it in certain terms, we understand it. If I'm looking at somebody else and I'm looking at them and they've had a problem with addiction and they knew they shouldn't do certain things and they still did them, and other things happened to them, and I could put it in perspective in my head and say, okay, I understand. You had some issues and you don't, and you could change those things. But then when it happens to you, it's like you're lost. It's like I can't even put my finger. If this was, I guarantee if you were looking at your life and somebody else was living it, you would kind of see it better. Same thing with me, and that was one of the things that happened with me was, when things happened with Teresa and I, and I ended up having to really look at myself. It was like I had to step back and look at myself from a different point of view and stop looking at it from where I was hurting and start looking at it from the outside and saying, why did this end up this way? And as I started finding things out, I started feeling a little better. The only problem is every time I turn around, there's something new. There's something new, always something new.
One door opens. I keep hearing that. One door opens.
Yeah. Well, what is the old saying? Just
One,
when I found a way to make ends meet, somebody moved the ends.
that's a good expression. I never heard that.
Let's see. Scott, do you have any pet peeves with how people react to you being a recovering addict? Well, first of all, Debbie, nobody knows that I was, but thank you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Everybody knows it. Scare her for a minute. No, you know what? I don't have any pet peeves about that, because what I do is I do understand. I do understand ignorance because I was ignorant most of my life.
Yep.
And for me to step out of that, for me to step out of my life and to change my life and to make it different, and then to look at it and expect other people to treat me a certain way or to understand certain things, that's not fair, because I spent most of my life not understanding anybody, not even myself. And so I really don't get upset with that, but it does fuel me to say there's much more message to be shared with people. There's many more things to do, because until mental health and addiction and other issues out there can be talked about openly and understood openly, we're always going to have issues. We're going to have issues with addiction. We're going to have issues with violence, with school
Yeah.
shootings, with all of these things, because we don't do what Gary just did and say, this is where I'm at, and then have people say, okay, we got you. What can we do to help? Or we've got your back. Most people don't have that. Most people don't have that. Gary and I both know we're blessed with our friends and in the families and the people we know. We know that, but there's a lot of people that don't have that, and there's a lot of lack of understanding. So, does it peeve me? No. Does it fuel me to keep fighting so that people will one day understand how important this is? Yes, it fuels me. Do you want to answer that, Gary? Because you work with people in this area too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just at this time with the state of mind that I'm in, it's hard to answer that.
Okay.
It really is. I mean, because right now I'm trying to concentrate on why I'm not where I want to be. You know,
There we
and I'm
go.
not just talking about financially. I'm not talking about um, job wise or I'm not a super rock star. I'm just talking about what makes me go this way instead of that way. Where
Yeah.
would I be if I just stuck out and analyzed what I was doing instead of just reacting? And that's what a lot of addicts do. They
Hmm.
just
Yeah.
react. So a lot of the people that I work with, they don't think, they're just reacting. But when you find help, you do find a way of learning how to cope, and you become clean, and it gets you thinking better. And once you're thinking better, most of the time you will react in the way that you need to react, and you will take the roads that you need to take. My problem is I don't have the problem of addiction, and my mind is clear. And I don't know, it just I'm a happy guy, friends, so don't feel bad for me. But I'm
He's having reflective time right now, and
a
that's
very
important.
confused person, and that's why I
Absolutely.
do therapy. Therapy is a wonderful thing.
Listen, I think it's probably man's greatest question is why do I do things that are contrary to my best interest? Why? And the truth is that every time we answer a question in one area of our lives, it rears itself in another area, whether it's work or family or friends or activities or drugs or alcohol or whatever it might be. It could be a thousand things. Why do we make decisions that are not in our best interest? And that's kind of like what we look for. It's what we all search for,
Yeah,
and
and
so hopefully sometimes we find those answers, and sometimes we just got it's in the journey. You just got to keep looking. You know.
right. And why can't I just get it together?
Yeah,
You know?
I hear you. I hear you. Listen, before we wrap up with our curiosities, I want to remind everybody that Addiction Training Center sponsors our show. Addiction Training Center, something that Karen and Gary and I are very passionate about. Something that started, I don't know, about 4 years ago. We were working on it before that, but we really got our feet wet 3 years ago, going full bore. Addiction Training Center is about helping people to understand addiction, understand what to do to help other people, and even make things better for people who work in the industry and with the education and the training and all the things that they need to do their jobs better. We have a great intervention course, shows people how to deal with addiction when it rears its head in your community, your workplace, or your family. Also, we have courses on brain chemistry. We have a course on understanding new ideas about how to treat addiction and loving yourself. And we have courses on how to communicate better, how to communicate to build better rapport with people. All of these courses, including our new AMA course, which is coming out for treatment centers to help them to recognize how to stop people from leaving. Again, making decisions that's not in their best interest and not even knowing why they do it, but they still do it anyway. And trying to help them do that. If you'd like more information, it's on your screen there, but you can call Karen directly at 786-514-0893. That's 786-514-0893. Or you can get more information about us and get our contact information at atceducation.com. atceducation.com. We also have a nonprofit, One Brother, One Sister, that is all about helping first responders deal with trauma and addiction in their ranks. Firefighters, police officers, military, doctors, and nurses, all the first responders who are they have to close ranks to protect themselves and to help each other, but they don't have all the information that they need to truly help each other when it comes to trauma and mental health and addiction. And we're trying to get that information to them. And by taking donations, we're able to go in there and train them. And it's too late. It's late now, but we've got a golf tournament. If you're interested in the golf tournament, that's on Wednesday. That's in 2 days. Up in Palm Beach at Palm Beach Par 3. If you're interested in coming and playing golf or you want to make a donation to One Brother, One Sister, please call Karen again at 786-514-0893, or you can go to onebrotheronesister.com. Did I miss anything, Gary? Do you want to make any announcements about addiction and what people should do?
No, you basically said it all. If you have a problem with addiction, just reach out for help. Reach out for help.
It's a scary time out there, isn't it, Gary? It's different. It's different from when we were kids. The drugs, everything out there, it'll kill you fast if you don't get help.
Okay, you never know if it's going to kill you. You could die tomorrow. And the treatment centers are so much better now.
Yeah.
Some of them are really, really, really good. Some of them, of course, yeah, you get those. There are good McDonald's and there are bad McDonald's. There are really good treatment centers and there are not good treatment centers. Just check it out. Karen is an expert at that. Karen is it. Call Karen.
Absolutely. 786-514-0893.
Curiosities.
And share this with your friends. Let's get to some curiosities. What do you say, folks? We're going to do Scott's Curiosities. All right. You what?
I still think you need a better picture there.
I will get a better picture. I'm going to redo our openings and all that stuff anyway. All right. The first part of my curiosities is I came up with a list of, before I get into my regular curiosities, these are special curiosities. These are titles of, these are names of things that I think we need to change. I think they don't make sense that we have a name for them when there's a better name for them. Things like, when they got those breakfast shakes that you drink, you drink the shake for breakfast. It's got all the nutrients in it and everything. I think we should just start calling that cereal water, and it would make sense. It's cereal. You eat it in the morning and it's like water. You drink it. So, all right, well, I'll move on. Gloves. Gloves make no sense. What is a glove? A glove makes no sense. A glove is a made up word for that. We already have perfect words for this. They should be called finger pants. When you put gloves on, they should simply be called finger pants.
Why couldn't pants be leg gloves?
They could have been. I don't know which came first. I have a feeling people wearing pants before they were wearing gloves because they definitely wanted to keep their schmeckle warm before they wanted to keep their fingers warm. Got it?
Okay.
Which came first, the glove or the pant?
There's a curiosity.
Okay. Tissues, Kleenex tissues, and all these tissues and everything. Let's call it what it is. Sneeze paper. Let's just call it what it is. Sneeze paper.
Snot paper.
Snot paper. There you go.
Snot paper. It's not sneeze paper because you use it to hold your snot. A snot paper.
That's right. That's right. Ribs. Ribs should be called pork sickles. Pork sickles, because you eat them off the stick. Pork sickles.
Or beef sickle.
There we go. Or beef sickle, depending on what kind you get. That's true.
Right. You can have a plate of a full rack of beef sickles.
That's true.
Right.
Ice should simply be called water with corners. I don't know if that would work.
Corners.
Water with corners. Ice. Square ice. Never mind. Let's see. A carousel should be called a horse tornado, because that's really what it is. A bunch of horses that just go around in a circle. I don't know what carousel's got to do with anything. It's a horse tornado.
That's a horse race.
It's a horse race. There you go. See? Doesn't even have to be complicated.
Circles.
It's a horse race where you can always predict the winner. And finally, bread.
Depending on where you're starting.
Bread should not be called bread. It should be called exactly what it is: raw toast. It is raw toast, uncooked toast. Bread is raw toast. All right. All right. Here's my curiosities. I think
toast burnt bread.
What?
Isn't toast burnt bread?
Yeah. So if you don't toast it, it's raw toast.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So we should call bread raw toast and toast burnt bread.
Burnt bread, yes. Or overcooked bread or something. Yes, of course. All right. Building a treehouse is the greatest insult that's possible, because you're basically killing a tree to build a house and then giving it to another tree and saying, please hold this. I mean, what do you think about it? That's like pretty rude.
Please hold this.
The Olympics, the Olympic Games are fantastic because it's the only time when you don't mind hearing the phrase "great execution by North Korea." Um, any other time, that's not a good statement.
I like the please hold this tree. I like
Yes,
that.
I'm gonna kill your friend, build a house, then make you hold it. That's not good. How come you could kill a deer and mount it on your wall, but you can't keep one as a pet? It's against the law. You can't keep a deer as a pet, but you can kill him and mount him on your wall. So if you want to keep a deer as a pet, you just got to train him anytime the cops come around to run up and put his head through the hole in the wall.
Through the hole in the wall.
And
Wow, what
don't.
an excellent idea for deer lovers.
That's right. That's right.
An excellent idea for deer lovers. If you want a deer, put a hole in your wall.
Why don't they have any guilty bystanders? Everybody's an innocent bystander. How do you know? Not everybody could be innocent. There could be some guilty bystanders out there. You know?
People who've done the same thing.
Well, or that they've done something different we haven't caught them at yet. They are guilty. But not everybody's an innocent bystander. It's not possible. There's going to be some guilty bystanders out there. Aim at them. All right. What? That was rude. That was rude. I'm sorry. What? Okay. Why do we call elderly people old people, but we don't call babies new people? You know, oh, those are old people over there.
Newborn baby. Why do we call a born baby a newborn baby?
Yeah, is there an old born baby?
He's born, it's new.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need the phrase.
I just added to your
that'll have to go in my book. My book of curiosities.
I just added to it. I just added
you
to
did.
that particular curiosity.
That particular line of thought, you've added to it very well, too. The word politics, it's funny because if you break the word politics into its form, poly means many in Latin. Okay? Tix means blood-sucking creature. So politics, many blood-sucking creatures. Okay? Just saying. Just saying. Okay.
That is brilliant.
It's in the word.
I pass on anything that I would possibly say. That is perfect.
Have you ever noticed that if you rearrange the letters in mother-in-law, you could spell out woman Hitler? I'm just saying.
Have you done that?
You can, yes. You rearrange the letters in mother-in-law, you end up with woman Hitler. It's not a good thing.
That's interesting.
If athletes get athlete's foot, do astronauts get mistletoe? I'm sorry. That was childish. You know what? You know what I'm wondering? Sorry, I had to switch papers here. Why do ballet dancers dance on their toes? Wouldn't it be easier just to get taller dancers? I mean, ballet dancers are always up on their toes. They're trying to be taller. Just get taller dancers. They wouldn't have to be on their toes.
You're missing the grace.
I'm missing the grace. Have you ever seen their toes? You ever seen a ballet dancer's toes? It's like something from Misery, from Stephen King's Misery, with the woman pounding the feet with a hammer.
I always felt ballet dancers like to suffer.
They do. They do like suffering. They suffer for their art.
They suffer for their art. But it is a beautiful art.
That's right. Okay. Why is it that when two planes almost hit each other, they call it a near miss? I think it was a miss. It's not a near miss. It's a near hit.
A near hit. It should be called a near hit.
Because if you think about a near miss, which means we almost missed each other, but we didn't, that's called a hit.
It's called a hit.
You don't want a near miss. I want a miss. I don't want a near miss.
I hear you. I
well,
understand that.
Why do they call nighttime after dark when it should be after light? Shouldn't it? Nighttime, yes, it's after dark. No, it's after light. Light came first, then the dark.
That's right.
After dark is morning when the light comes out.
Are you guys getting all this? I'm looking at all the people that are on right now. Are you getting all that? That makes sense.
I hope they're getting it. I hope they're getting it. And the last one, and this one's really a serious curiosity I have. You ever watch Unsolved Mysteries and shows like that? They always have actors play the criminal. How many times do you think those actors have been arrested on the street because they look just like the guy they played?
Oh,
This man is still at large. They just had an actor play the guy for an hour on TV. Then they're saying they're still at large. If you know this man, how many times do you think that actor has been arrested and like tased in his driveway? That poor guy. That poor guy. Arrow wants to throw one in there. Why is it called an airline terminal? Yeah, that's probably not the best choice of words. You don't want anything with the word terminal when you're flying.
especially with it, you fly. Yeah, airline.
Yeah, absolutely not. All right. So, Gary, that's the end of the curiosities.
Terminal.
What?
Before you get on an airline, it's terminal.
It's terminal. You don't know. No terminals in airlines. And no near misses. We want complete misses. No near misses. What are you doing? You decided what to do with your walls there?
I was wondering what this was. This is my air conditioner. I'm on the patio today.
On the potty?
On the patio.
Oh, the patio. I thought you said you're on the potty. That would not be a good sign.
Can you hear the fan?
Not now, no.
Oh, good.
No. All right. Well, Gary, I think we come to the end of the show. I want to thank everybody for joining us. It's been a lot of fun.
Folks, tell people about the show. I'd like to get into the 20s.
Our tens of followers out there. Yeah. We really want to get things going again and really start rocking out. I know we've been kind of like hit or miss for a little bit. I've had trainings and then Gary had a concert. You did a benefit concert last week, by the way. How did that turn out?
Turned out wonderful. It really worked out well. All the musicians were wonderful.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was good.
Well, Gary and I will be back on the 15th. 2 weeks from tonight, we'll be back. You got any conflicts on the 15th, Gary?
No. Not
Is that you can't cross your fingers and say no. That's like a no. I don't think I have any either. But
I have nothing. No.
David said thanks, you guys. Scott Jonas says thank you. I want to thank Earl and Sandy and Debbie and Lynn and all the other people here. David, obviously.
Lynn, you had these pet peeves today. You kept the show going.
Yeah, you guys. Tammy Resner. Tammy Resner saying thanks for the show or sending us hearts. Do appreciate it. Again, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Any final thoughts, Gary?
No, thank you, Dee and Lance, for both joining us. And
yes.
I got nothing.
That's it.
I'm sorry. I hope I didn't bring anybody down tonight. But
no, I think it's important. I think it's important. I mean, we come on here and we usually entertain and we're usually really upbeat and everything, but to sometimes let people know the struggle is real for all of us. And sometimes we end up in those spots where we got to kind of evaluate ourselves. And it's all good. Diane sending you hugs.
Thank you.
What? So hugs for Gary because he said, and jack shit for Scott because he smiled today. Yeah, I see how that works.
Scott.
Fuck Scott. He doesn't need anything. Gary, I love you, brother.
I love you too, Scott.
Everybody out there, you guys be kind to each other. Go do something good for somebody. And if somebody's in trouble, make sure you get them help. And for God's sake, so if you see Lance, ask him how the weather is up there.
Yes.
Please do. Tell him that came right from us at Live Out Loud.
And they'll go boom like that. They'll ask you how the pain is down there.
Yeah. Send us the hospital bill. We'll ignore it just like every other bill we get. All right, guys. God bless you. Take care. We'll see you next time.
He's